welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I've got Sloth. I don't have Slothy today. I'm losing my mind. I have everyone but Slothy, in fact. I've got Sherman. I've got Brian. I have Sans Slothy. Not Slothy number one. How are you?
Who's not Slothy number one?
That's up to you guys to decide.
Well, I find that I'll take dibs as Slothy not number one. I'm doing fairly well. I'm currently doing electrical work and pulling a 12-hour day on this Saturday, but sun did come up real early and I liked it. I know Slothy, or I'm sorry. I know that Slothy number one enjoyed it.
There you go. Yeah, no, Slothy had to jump out to work and everything. We were playing. We recorded last night.
At least he's not in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he didn't have to go out of town, which is nice. We were recording some games last night. We played a really, really fun game with the precons, the just full unedited ones from Karloff, and they were great. They're pretty phenomenal. It's a fun game.
Would have been great. my merfolk would have done so much better if I had blue mana.
Yeah, Brian's
it's a 3 CMC commander, and I don't think I cast him until turn 7.
Brian's fish detective couldn't solve the case of where is the blue mana.
Yep.
But yeah, Brian, how are you this week?
No, I'm doing real good. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that game last night. It was interesting to play the precons because again, we typically tear them apart. But when we have played them in the past, they've always been fun. So it was really good playing them all against each other. And quick one, really fun playing with these beautiful sleeves here. Big thank you to AI Armor. You can find them on Amazon and Instagram. And these sleeves feel great, and you got some really cool artwork to them. I got the baby Grogu with the Black Lotus, and I love my dinosaurs. So we got the rampaging T-Rex through the Lotus Field.
They shuffle really well. They're really, really smooth.
So
they feel great shuffling.
Yeah.
Brian's doing so good. He's doing product placement. Sherman, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was really happy playing with you guys last night, except for the fact that Brian swung in at me, didn't threat assess properly, in my opinion. Yeah. Didn't threat assess properly.
Hey, deals. I was good with Slothy. We had our deals.
He was the problem. That's why he's not here. We secretly removed him.
Slothy's player removed so hard it took him out of the episode.
Yeah, we got rid of rando number 4.
True.
But you forced my hand. I ended up causing chaos in the end. So you forced my hand. But anyways, I am happy to be with you guys here. It is like I say every single time. When we get together and record or do whatever, it's a nice break for me from the stress of the week. So yeah. And then Dan, how are you doing?
Good. I overbuilt decks. I built too many decks this week. So I had until Friday morning. I worked Thursday night into Friday, and we're recording in Friday. I went I did a really fun session of recording with Rogue's Passage over at their new studio stuff, and that was a blast. That's going to be a really, really funny game. It was another close game. All the recent games I've played have just been really, really nice. I've been very happy with them. But
talking about product placement.
No, that's not. They're not. They're people, Brian. They have names. But yeah, no, it's I had a lot of fun playing there, but it didn't give me the time I wanted to get the table cleaned off fully from my giant deck building experience. So I had to put Brian was rifling yesterday, and he found my big stack of decks I'm in the middle of building, and he thought it's so many decks that I'm building that Brian just thought he had stumbled on a secret rare box.
Yeah, those stacks of rares.
Yeah,
I'm not a rifle.
But there's a few. I got a bunch done that I really want to showcase soon. The Sophia deck. I'm really proud of that one. It seems really, really fun to do. But yeah, no, it was really nice to get back into in person. My internet service has been really, really hit or miss for a 2 months thing. They're trying. I'll give them the benefit. They're trying, but it's frozen here. It's been -30. They're doing what they can do, but it's driving me nuts. And I want to set the modem on fire. But yeah, so I haven't been streaming and doing the in-person games that I love to do because I'm lazy and don't want to drag out my setup to someone else's house. That's, someone with working internet faster than the 1940s. I don't even know if there was internet in the 1940s.
Something like that.
Yeah, we go just set up at like a restaurant and stuff. I'm still just as loud. But no, yeah, it was.
You're the one that's constantly telling me to shut up.
You're not loud. You have a volume problem. That's your problem. You have an unregulated volume problem when you play in person. But you play like the volume dial on a remote's broken. You're normal, loud. But
I'm just excited, my guy.
You're just having a good time. Yeah, no. So it was definitely good. I worked a lot this week, but it was definitely nice. Finally slowing down, getting a little bit of time to breathe. I say this every week and then it doesn't, but finally, at least if there's no snow, then I can, it's been like the worst kind of weather where it's like just warm enough that snow starts to melt and then it freezes overnight and it's just glare ice everywhere.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest,
yeah,
to be honest.
I think Slothy, like, he slid into someone the other day too. He was saying something like that. Ooh. I think, yeah, it's, yeah. He's not here to defend himself. He can't. Slothy hit someone going 35 miles an hour. We don't even use miles out here, and that's how fast he was going. So, boom.
He pulled the whole like jump scene from.
He got pit maneuvered.
I'm totally. It's too early for me.
He was trying. Yeah, he was trying to steal the game last night. That's why they were chasing him. If you want to defend yourself, Slothy, you be here. Today we have a subject. It's a pretty jovial talk in the morning for our pretty negative subject, and it's a concept that you're starting to see pop up more and more, which is there's too much product.
Here, I'll start it off. I went in, I bought a box, and I got asked why I was supporting the devil.
Okay, fair. There was it's just there is too much product right now, and we've all heard it, we've all seen it, we've all felt it, right? It's impossible to escape. But even like as good examples, Karlov Manor released last weekend was the official release date of it. I think pre-release was the 2nd of February, something like that. So it's been out a week, 1 week.
We've been doing pre-release for the last 3 weeks.
The Clue edition isn't even out yet. That part of it is still not even out yet because it's like still not out. We've just done spoilers. We had to do 4 episodes of spoilers to cover not even the commons and uncommons in it. And then today they're just like, it's just a flurry of like, check out this secret layer, check out this blah blah blah. And I'm seeing the Fallout spoilers again. We haven't even had a set out for a week and they're just like, spoiler season once more. So today our topic is about the Great Magic Freeze. And it's a concept that I'm seeing like put out more and more and more. And the gist of it is essentially that like Wizards is just out of control with their release schedule. It's wrecking the game in a lot of forms. I think at least there's it's pros and cons, right? Number one is it's never been a better time to get into Magic. Things are cheap. Things that have been historically very expensive have come down a ton in price. And that's great. That's pretty phenomenal. Not if you have cards. I've lost a lot of money on cards, but I don't sell the cards, so it really doesn't matter. Even if I lost 100% value, I'm not selling them. So that being said, it's just too much. There's like a really good example is the Krark and Sakashima secret layer that just came out. I wanted that secret layer, and it's sold out. So like it's
the cereal box one.
Yeah. We've come like full circle. It's really fun. So behind my giant Miram, for people watching the video, is a foil sheet, a big foil sheet for More of the Spark. And the reason there's that is because Wizards had to send an apology for the their old version of secret layers. They went and you had to go to the Hasbro website, which was an abomination, and you had to line up and basically try and get the thing so that you could get a Jace the Mind Sculptor and special art. And everyone's like, yeah, hooray. They debited all our accounts for it. And then they're like, we actually don't have enough. Sorry, whoopsie. So then Secret Layer came along and was supposed to be the answer to that, right? You know, we're not going to do this like one-time buy thing. It's everyone who wants these cards is going to get them. and then they'll go away. And now here we are back to it again with their release schedule is crazy. They've circular logic from one of the recent secret layers, the winter super drop thing. They printed it as the wrong thing. It's a sorcery speed counterspell in theirs, which is hilarious. It's a hilarious mistake. But like they can't even quality control their own things with the rate they're going out. So now they're back again to just like the first come first serve methodology, and it's leading a lot of people to feel bad, right? The Rin and Siri Dogs deck, for example, that was a pretty cool looking deck.
I wanted the kittens.
I also wanted it. I was going to get it as a gift for Kaylin, like my wife, who like she loves
cats.
Loves cats. I was like, oh, this would be like a fun deck, a Rin and Siri deck with these like cool cats and dogs themes. It'd be a great. And they're like, no, it's already sold out. Didn't even know it had gone on sale in time, and it was gone. And that had
my understanding of Secret Lair is that it was to be a print to purchase. There was no limit. The limit was if you buy it, we will print it. Wasn't that why like the first couple Secret Lairs took so long to ship in batches?
Well, they also did the heads I win, tails you lose Secret Lair, and that thing took months to get there. Like I would be. So it's kind of like Wizards can't win with the schedule they're doing, but neither can we really. At the end of the day, like I said, I would have liked that, but it was sandwiched in between like 13 release things.
Right.
We're Magic content creators, and we can't keep up with the schedule, right? Like think about like how an average player who just is like trying to live their life, not on like MTG servers and stuff, like it's overwhelming, right? And oh yeah, I wanted to slot part of it in as well. Like I'll go back to what the Great Freeze is, but we historically, like on the channel, have we're deck builders. We live to build decks, but with the current release schedule, it's just an onslaught. We can't even get to the things we want. Brian's favorite deck right now, Brian.
Talion.
Yeah, it's Talion.
6-0, baby.
It's like 4 sets ago, right? So like it's
that long ago.
What is it? There's Karlov Manor. There's the Ixalan set.
Yeah.
And then what else? I think Wilds was it Wilds?
Yeah.
So 3 sets ago.
Okay, yeah. So it's 3 sets old already.
You also have like the Clue edition, or like Markov came off with like the regular set, Commander set, and the Clue set, right? So.
Oh yeah. So really quickly, this is let's just remind everyone a portion of what was last year. We had Dominaria Remastered for the 13th. Phyrexia All Will Be One, Shadows Over Innistrad on Arena, March of Machines, March of the Machine, Aftermath, Lord of the Rings, Commander Masters, Wilds of Eldraine. Oh no, it was 4 ago. It was the Doctor Who set.
Oh yeah.
Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and then this. So it's 4 sets ago if you look at the Doctor Who, because that was a full set into the Commander thing itself, right? But if you look at that, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's like 10 sets a year. That's like
and they want to do
nearly a set per month.
2 big ones now.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, because Lord of the Rings, I'm really tangenty here. I've got lots to say on this. I'm excited. Lord of the Rings was smashing success because they like really pressured players into searching for the one ring. Post Malone will give you $1 million, man. You got to crack like it's, and he did. And he did end up paying millions for that card. But then there was like, oh, here's serialized special version X, Y, and Z, right? Like it's super fancy and you're going to miss it if you don't buy it now. You got to get these packs. And it was a smashing success. It was a really good, it was a good product overall, right? It was some of the best cards printed of the year. The One Ring was great. Orcish Bowmasters.
The flavor was excellent.
Even flavor side, because it was well designed. I'll give it that. But like Legolas's quick reflexes, delighted halfling.
That was from the Christmas.
It's still Lord of the Rings though.
Oh, all right.
It was from the Christmas, but you could get it, I think, in the collector boosters. I don't know. Either way, who could keep up, right?
Yeah.
But the gist is that a lot of people are fed up with it. It's too much to. You can't. Magic's a big game. It's a really big game, and part of getting better at that game is knowing card interactions. Right, the more game knowledge you have, the better. Sherman's got tons of game knowledge. Sherman's able to play a lot of really cool budget builds. because of that gain knowledge and interaction, that time he spends putting into learning how this clock ticks, essentially, right? And when you have this onslaught release, that you can't keep up with these things, right? You can't. There's no way. I've decided from a going forward standpoint, unless it's a deck I love, like a deck I'm willing to grab out and play like multiple times, never changing them. They are staying where they are. I am MTG freezing my decks in time for sure, because I can't. There's no way to keep up with an update schedule like this.
So let's talk about what the MTG freeze is, because we've been going on for a while saying what it, mentioning it, but we're not saying what it actually is.
We're edging everyone with the MTG freeze.
Yeah. So MTG freeze basically is like someone posted it and basically said like, hey guys, like, so basically they want everyone or whoever wants to participate, not, to basically hurt Hasbro in a way by not buying product, just buying singles from LGSs and just buying what you need, like not actually buying the product. From my understanding,
no, even farther than that. It's pseudo, because again, we have a self-imposed rules committee.
I feel like this is going to hurt Rule Zero real hard.
Well, and that's what it is. So the self-imposed rules committee, where they don't actually ban things because they're like, the player should be responsible for it, right?
Well, and they said there's too many cards. They're the rules committee.
But
no, they didn't say there. Well, they said that there was too many cards, but they're just pointing out that it's hard to keep up, just like everyone else was pointing out.
Yeah, well, yeah, they also have lives out of it. It's not like you're an RC member, you get a nice $100,000 salary for going over them. It's a free position.
I'll take it.
I guess you probably get some sponsorships, and I'm sure there's like a few like kickbacks from Wizards on it, but still. But the whole point is that it's because we enforce our own rule zeros. The going forward is that, like, this is the cutoff. Nothing going forward is legal until this stops. So it's just like the end of the end of legality in Commander is Karlov Manor. There's nothing. It doesn't matter how cool the commander is, how excited you are. The whole concept is that we rule zero everything after that. We just say, like, enough is enough. Go back to good story writing. Go back to blocks, which we all enjoyed. Stop the spam reprint. Like, here's Commander Masters for $300 a box. You might get I don't want to crack a side profile Talrand. Just like, Talrand? No, don't care. Don't care at all. I don't want child Gishath, child drawn Gishath. I would like cool cards at a reasonable price that's sustainable for the game. There's not many cards that are case-worthy anymore. We were talking last night in the pre-con deck. They just casually reprinted a Twilight Prophet in there, just slid it on in. It's a great reprint. It's a great card. Twilight Prophet's wonderful. But that was like a $30 or $40 card for a long time. And just, again, they're just tumbling the prices of everything with this, like, constant, unending, like, we need more product. We need more X, Y, and Z. And it has undoubtedly power crept games. That's what I wanted to talk. Like, how are you guys feeling about, like, power creep in games right now?
Brian?
I guess, like, my games have just been normal. Like, with the play group that I play, a majority of them are degenerative, but like, I try to stick to I want the game to be fun, so I build my deck around it. But I've also been trying to push what I typically build. So, like, I built a Nim, which is aggro, so I have to not be apologetic and just swing.
That's fair.
But, like, yeah, like, I still try to build it for a longer game instead of being quick. So I think I pulled one Mana Crypt or whatever from the Ixalan set. I think I have that in one of my decks. So maybe I have one fast Mana Rock. But again, like, I've been trying to build with the lockets, the signets, all that stuff to lower how fast my deck can potentially go off. So I've been purposely limiting myself, I guess you can say.
That's fair. Like, I personally feel that like power creep is insane right now. So like it's virtually impossible to play jank decks now unless you have a dedicated group that will do that with you.
Yeah, you found that out the hard way at the event.
It's not even that. It's just like you're playing a game, okay? Even let's say I'm not even playing jank. Let's say I'm playing a regular deck.
Yeah.
Okay. Something, let's say 2 years ago, all right, that would have been.
Oh, you can keep talking. Sorry.
Okay, because you're just saying like, like, but yeah, something 2 years ago that would have been like a really strong deck, okay, it's getting outpaced by every single precon that's coming out right now.
I was just gonna say by precons. The games we played yesterday were good games.
They were insane. They were very swingy.
Yeah, like it's I think the game nearly ended. I won't spoil the episode for someone, but like I was like cracking with like I was cracking with like 40 damage and stuff. Like Sherman almost almost took me out with like a double strike 14-14. Like what's going on in these decks, right? Like it's very nice that I always thought precons should be like intro level decks, something where it's an idea. It's kind of a little like they used to be. Look back to Ikoria, right? We had face commanders like we had Gavi, which was the cycle deck. And that's where the deck was like mostly geared towards cycling. But then we had Shabraz, Braylon. Those were the alternate commanders for it. The deck's not really meant to play with Shabraz and Braylon, right? They're draw commanders, but they weren't like the whole deck was focused on cycling. So it would have been pretty expensive without the cycling commanders. And we kind of saw that like all the time through it. Like you almost had to pull them out. Like we had Calamax, which was the instant sorcery one, right? Calamax is a phenomenal commander, and the side commander of it was Xerus, a draw generation snake commander, right? The decks were always kind of, here's two separate ideas, fix it how you'd like. This will play like a mid, like really low mid level, but a lot of these are coming out like a pretty decently powerful, like one like I talk all the time about the food deck. That was a difficult deck to edit because there wasn't really much better stuff that you could put in without hurting the theme of the deck, right? The alternate commanders were all wonderful. Like leaving that deck alone, just the food deck unchanged, is a playable deck at the majority of tables. The Necrons from 40k, a playable deck at most tables. Right now, the Ixalan commander, like the Velociraptor one, people love this commander. They're like, it's still, I think it's the most popular commander of the last month is the, like, whatever it is, Alza or whatever the commander's name is, that people just love it. Like these precons are well built right now. They're getting pushed far beyond what it is, and they can hold their own at the table. Brian, for podcast, Brian just showed back up, but we're just saying like the precons right now, they are like, they're powerful. They're built to, they're outpacing like a budget deck.
They've performed well, we've, other than the land base, we have always complemented the pre-con builds over the last few years, I can't even say the last few years, the last few like sets that they've come out with commander decks.
Mm-hmm.
We constantly look at them and go, these are great cards and stuff like that, but we've never actually played them unedited like we did yesterday.
Yeah, we usually rip them apart, but
yeah, because we're animals.
It would be pretty easy for me to be like, okay, well, I'm going to build a commander deck, and then here's what I want it to do. Design me the cards to do it. And that's kind of where it looks like the design team is at right now. And it is making for pretty good decks. But again, how do you just keep up with like a 10 sets worth of mechanics a year is just too much to deal with, right? 10 sets to possibly upgrade your decks. Most people don't have decks like me. Most people like
go ahead. I think a lot of it can be that the design teams may be looking at where can we save time, and it's what can we reuse instead of let's design something new. So it seems like a lot of the sets, a lot of the pre-con is reprints, whereas there are some of the newer cards from the set in there, but they keep it seems like they keep a lot of the newer cards in the main set, so you can take them out of the main set and upgrade your pre-cons with them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can understand that. Like they Wizards wants, like, here, hang on. Before I finish this thought, should we consider it's Wizards or Hasbro? Because I don't know if Wizards is doing this
It's big,
like on their own, or if Hasbro is forcing them to do this.
I would like to say,
money daddy.
I would like to say, I see this all the time. They're indistinguishable. Wizards is Hasbro now. It's just
Fair.
a division of it. They're not a separate good guy entity that secretly really cares about the player base. There's people like your Gavin, like your Mark Rosewaters, those individual employees care about the game, I think, and stuff. But I think that from a business standpoint, they're a business, right? They want to make money. But the problem is, I think they're going to wreck the game. That it sounds so dramatic to they're going to ruin the magic, but I think it's true. I think that I saw during COVID there was a lot of free time for a lot of people. People were working from home. People were like kind of just like off work a little bit. There was a giant influx of new players. We had tons and tons of new players just getting into the format, and it was a phenomenal time and stuff, right? Like there was lots of, well, minus the global shutdown and the deaths and all that stuff. We'll say that minus those things, it was pretty good. But the player base, like, it was just a huge influx of players, right? Lots of people getting into it, tons and tons. Like, there was great communities. I met tons and tons of really, really nice friends online the whole time. We played lots of games. It was good for the community. And then they just saw, like, okay, like, people are going to buy. Here's lots of new players. And then they rolled out some reprints, and I was like, oh, this is like pretty good. Now it's making things accessible. And then they just didn't stop with it. And they just didn't, like, they're just rolling out with like everything. Like, there's going to be a Super Mario set at this rate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be like Bowser's, your Rakdos commanders. Like, it's going to be nonstop. They're not going to quit doing these crossovers. They said recently.
Well, you remember the whole joke, like my Little Ponies, and I equip the great, like, sword of He-Man and ride into battle on the Transformer. Like, it's
my Skeletor stops you. My Skeletor doesn't allow that.
Like, so it's like the jokes that people were making are coming to fruition. We took a pretty... The one thing I was joking about that I was like in my head, like, I'm just sitting here laughing. I was like, in all the movies, you have these large corporations that have that one person, that friendly face. I remember someone saying, hey, we're not the Prince Staples anymore. We're not going to do that. And then Staples, there's constant Staples that are just being printed after printed. And it's that friendly face that keeps wanting to, like, boost the company. But, like, it's just that evil company in the background.
Hey, yeah, like, we wouldn't do that. We're sorry. They're BP oiling us.
Yeah. Like, it's...
We're sorry. It's
so, like, and I'm just kind of jaded, I guess, from my personal life, like my personal work life, just with corporations. So I guess I just kind of view it the same way. It's,
well, that's understandable.
They're after the money.
Well, yeah, because they're a company. In the end, they're a company. In the end, they're a company. They are there to make money, right? It's not like us, where we're, like, we don't make money doing this. Let's face it. We
make some money.
We do this because we love the game.
Do we operate at a loss? Sure.
Yeah.
Is it a substantial one?
That is a truth statement.
Yeah. So
we wouldn't if more people were on Patreon. Everyone, come over to Patreon. Keep these lights on. They're real bright here. Look at this. The lights are dimming in the background for the YouTube viewers. That's we're running out of time. But yeah, no. It's sorry, carry on with your tangent.
But let's face it, okay? Like, the way that they print out new powerful cards, new staples, how they split up, like, with, like, the main set, the clue set. Like, I'm not mainly talking about Markov Manor right now. They have the clue set, the commander set, and the main set, and they have different cards in each one where you want to get all of them, okay? Like, they're basically, like, trying to be like, okay, everyone's gonna have FOMO, like fear of missing out. Okay, but in the end, it's not fear of missing out anymore. Okay, it's more of fear of paying more later.
True.
Okay,
that's
the
an
moment you
absolute
miss
fact.
a set or you miss anything, you're paying double or triple what it would have been if you picked it up the first time.
Yeah, because if you look at it, we were able to get our commander decks for 200, and now they're going for like 140 a piece.
Yeah, it's stupid. Okay, like it. Let's face it, the world's gone crazy when it comes to everything like this. It's like the world's in a financial crisis. Okay, there's layoffs going on everywhere, including at Hasbro with Wizards and D&D and all them laying off people last year. Okay, we can't forget that. Okay, there's housing crisis, inflation's gone crazy. You know,
Have you bought
like I
milk
don't know
lately?
about everyone else in the different countries, but like like we literally have the government being like, hey, like Loblaws and Walmart, like, hey, do you guys want to like sign this thing saying that you guys will not raise food prices up to a certain percentage?
You got to
and
relax a
both
little,
companies
yeah.
are like, no. Like so when you have the government trying to step in, you're like, yo, what's going on? And like people's wages aren't keeping up. You have people living out of like
the movies have been telling the future for so long.
This episode got so real so fast.
Yeah, I know.
It's so dark.
It's not even about magic anymore.
Last week stacks, this week inflationary crisis.
I can go on and on for ages. Let's talk about Argentina. Argentina's screwed right now, okay? They have the highest debt in the world. Ooh. Like, what is it? Like 4 or 5 times what Egypt owes, for the debt in the world?
What are we doing?
We're getting a history lesson here.
It's like, what, 300%? Okay, anyway.
World News with Sherman at 10.
You guys know what I do for a job, okay? This is I literally sell online worldwide, okay? I have to know this stuff. All right. But anyways, going back to the topic, okay?
What, Argentina or Egypt? You have me entertained, you're sure, but where are we going? Which country next?
I will tell you this all after, okay? But anyway, let's go back. Let's dial it back then. Okay. So like they're a company in the end. Okay, they wanted to spend money. Okay, and people are gonna spend money. Okay, the question is, all right, should we actually follow this freeze where after this, no more? Like some people agree, some people don't. People are saying like like with the like you were saying, Brian, Rule 0. Okay, you sit down with the group and like, hey, do you guys have anything from the newest set, like Fallout new set?
There's going to be dumb
one person
people.
does is like, okay, you can't play that deck. Like,
yeah, that's dumb.
It's dumb. Okay, like people are going to spend money how they want, but at the same time, like how do we let Wizards know that this is a problem? Because like us as a group, okay, of people that play Commander or any Magic fan, okay. Like we're told, hey, support your LGS. How do you support your LGS if you can't buy new stuff? Okay, true. Like how do you, like the distributor has to buy from Wizards? Okay, they have to buy a set amount minimum. Okay, they can buy more if they want, but they have to buy a minimum set amount. Then they talk to all the stores and then be like, okay, you have to buy this minimum amount. If you don't, you will lose your WPN status.
Yeah, you can't.
You cannot hold any events where people that have a WPN like account or number or whatever.
Yeah, you can't host official events
for stuff. So if you don't buy products,
Catch-22.
The a big problem, like you just said and stuff, right? A freeze out. I have a full disclosure. I have been unhappy with Wizards for a while. They've made some moves that I don't like in the slightest, and sans Commander decks, have refused to buy any sealed product for a long time. I haven't bought a single box in years. I just buy the singles that I want, and in fairness, the rate I buy singles at, that doesn't really matter that much. But because I still like my store, I still like to build, right? So, like you said, it is it is kind of a difficult crossroads to be at, to like want to punish the bad evil corporation and stuff, but you know that your game stores are going to get hurt in the process of this freeze. How do you navigate something like that? Because they have to buy it. They've got to buy it. They've got to open it. And if everyone's just refusing to buy the new stuff because they're not playing it, then the game stores are just sitting there on a bunch of unsold product that can't be there. Maybe the answer is in front of us all along. Maybe it's a brawl. No, but yeah, it's brawl is the only new product. We only play that, and then we go from there. There's got to be a solution in some way, shape, or form, because Wizards is just straight out refusing to listen to the player base on it. It has been, look on a single post they have of anything. Here's like a new set. Everything is just like, what about the layoffs, corporate greed? Is this going to cost $9.99? People are not over that Magic 30 set, the $900 proxies or $1,000 proxies. I don't actually have a good solution, right? I have what I'd like to do. I'm probably going to go along with this freeze for a while. We have to live our lives first, right? And it's the constant pressure everyone's feeling. And if you play Magic, I know at some point you felt this pressure of, okay, well, I've got to get that for this deck. Well, this is an obvious upgrade for this deck. Oh, well, my Karlov deck needs this. My Teysa deck needs this, right? There's so many good. Slip on the Ring, a great example from the Lord of the Rings. Every Blink deck I have needs this. It's another quick blink in and out kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. But I really, really like the idea of just it was actually, I got this idea from Thunder. So thank you, Thunder, again. But it's just to leave my decks unchanged. After building them, I'm going to give them a 4-month period in which I'll edit them. That's it. So once I know how they play and stuff, once I've had the chance to work out the kinks in them of do they need more removal? Do they need less? Whatever. Then I'm leaving them. They're going to be frozen in time, and they'll just remind me of the times in my life that I built this deck, because my decks all function, right? That's the fun thing about Commander is, even if you've taken a 5-year break, you can come back and play. It's just you might not be in a great space right now because of the power creep.
Yeah. I feel that the freeze can have a double-edged sword. So we want to punish the corporation so we're not using it, but then say go back to the Rule 0 conversation. I come in, I sit down, and I go, hey, I want to play my new, Sherman had a printed copy of his Caesar deck.
Yeah.
And all of us go, nah, sorry. I feel it's gonna hurt the player base too. With all the new items that the new expanded universe stuff, we've been having new people come in from knowing the games or the shows that they're coming from, and I would want to urge people to not stop playing with people that want to play them. Because maybe that's what brought them into the game. We don't want to. Everyone talks about being inclusive, but when it comes down to it, there seems to be people that will push people away just for the smallest of reason.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like your Walking Dead cards. We don't play with those here. Like a Mean Girls situation.
Yeah,
you can't sit
when
with
everyone
us.
was excited for the Walking Dead cards when they first came out, and I'm just there's people that love the show and they're coming in. I may not enjoy the ability of the commander or those cards, but again, there's ways that we can play the decks or put or choice of a commander to play against them in order to minimize the impact from it. There shouldn't be anywhere that we say I'm not playing against that unless it's someone that's trying to come in with a CDH deck into my my brand new game.
As long as there's power, no power discrepancies thing. I think people should treat it like I treat Psych Rift. You can trash talk it all you want. I don't run Psych Rift in things. It's not for me.
I have removed them all.
You don't have to quite bully people like I do with Psych Rift, but you can just lead by your own example, right? If you don't want to do it and you do want to freeze, like I said, for me, the freezing my decks in place means there's 700 decks right now that I'm never putting new singles in. They're gonna sit there until I take them apart. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? I think that's kind of cool. Yes, that's gonna hurt the store a little bit, but like I think I'm a rare case of like decks, right? For most people, not upgrading to their decks isn't gonna hurt that bad. But I just I think you got to enforce it on yourself, right? Like I think it's just that I'm not building this. I don't need to build 5 commanders every time. This isn't even the commander set for the year. And like I've already torn, let's look at just me again. I'm an outlier for sure, but I've already torn all of the precons except the Demir one into 2 separate decks. So I've got like a Sophia deck. I've got what's the fish detective?
The fish detective.
Yeah, we'll call it the fish detective. Whatever. I've got that one. We know. If you listen to the episode, you know I got a Duscan. I'll tell you that right now. I've also like the
Morska.
Yeah, is it Vorska? There you go. Yeah, Morska.
Morska.
There we go. Yeah, the undersea sleuth. Yeah, so I have Morska. That deck was actually really cool to re-edit. But if you look at it, I've turned this into. I made a feather deck, a really really cool budget. I think feather deck that's half like decent ramp rocks, so that you can constantly do it. Get your nonsense out of here, Brian. Get your like you can get a lot of auras off. I made a feather auras deck, but again, who has the time to split like decks into that and stuff, right? If you like the commanders, you like that. There's no way to keep up with that release schedule. Then there's also
no, there's not.
There's also like I think I've made 11 decks with this. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I had so many cards on the table that I had to set aside like a block in time to clean them off the table because I was in the middle of making so many decks. And that can't happen 10 times a year, right? 10 times a year, I can't like take up half of my living room to be like, I'm building decks. Don't worry, babe. It's all good. Eat standing. It's fine. We'll be okay. Once I hit 1,000 decks, then I'll stop. No, it's like we're all kind of
a house out of deck boxes.
Yeah. We're all, and again, I say this with love to everyone listening. We're all acting like addicts with this game at this moment, right? And it's not even a joke anymore. Like we are all exactly like that. Like it's just like, I need a new one. I got to get my fix. Got to get my new secret layer. Got to get my new blah 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 blah. Like we're all really going a little too silly. Like if I don't know a single player except maybe Sherman who isn't going a little too silly with Magic cards right now. Who hasn't. If they look into their own heart, who hasn't overspent just a little bit lately on Magic. I don't know a single one except maybe Sherman, because Sherman has self-control and likes budget stuff. But like I don't, you know what I mean? That's like I'm looking at a mirror right now. I see it on the screen. It's me. Like there's a lot of players who are being a little irresponsible with it. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, like I could make $100,000 more and I still shouldn't be spending on Magic like I'm spending, right? Like there's better things. Life has to happen outside of the card game. And like, you know, a lot of people kinda don't really acknowledge that a lot of the time. Every time you sit down, everyone's got the suggestion of like, oh, you have a token deck. Why don't you put in the new, what's the new token doubler's name? Oger number 4. I think they're all named Oger. There's
Oger Patak.
Yeah. How am I going to keep up with like Oger and Oger and Oger? This is my Oger deck. Which one?
The blue Oger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like 7 cards named Oger. Am I crazy?
Like just the gods.
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they are.
There would be 5. There's one for every color.
It's still a lot. Maybe there's multicolor ones. Maybe there's a colorless one, Brian.
Well, there's
maybe there's a secret color you
Oger
haven't even considered.
I think, which is the blue one.
I'm gonna take your word for that. But yeah, like it's just we do have like too many of the gist of what I wanted to talk is like release schedule's crazy. It's nuts. But like it is for me, it's more going to be a personal. That's what I was tangenting off. I had too many points at the beginning. It's going to be just a channel thing going forward. And I haven't even really discussed this with everyone. It's just what's happening. We're not just only focusing on new decks anymore. We're gonna do deck techs on the things we like. I'm not gonna say now we can't do Talion because it's 4 sets ago. Right? It doesn't matter if you like your deck too bad.
Rage.
Yeah, right. Like it's like there's decks we want to showcase, decks that are really, really fun. And sometimes we have like commanders that are like old commanders, and suddenly they just get right now the morph, like the Faceless Menace commander, right? that got a ton of upgrades in this set in what you can and can't do. It's kind of weird that they shoved like white and red into the morph category a little bit. I can't see what that is. Oh, Azuri.
Oh, it's Azuri. Cloud Progress. Like, they've gotten so much new +1/+1 counters. I had never played Commander when this card came out, so it was really fun to have it. I tore it apart now, but it was just a lot of fun to build.
Let's say that they come out with like whatever the next set is. I'm sure it'll be like set number 18 for next year, right? Let's say set number 18 of next year's 34 set release schedule. Let's say that has just a lot of cool dragons. And I'm really, really excited. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go the Dragon route. I really, really want to do a Miram finally, right? Brian finally makes a Miram. And because Brian didn't play when Miram was around, right? Yeah, like short of this like giant card staring him in the face every day, Brian doesn't get to see Miram, right? So like we didn't play it. I don't really pull Miram out all the time because Miram's pretty strong. But then Brian wants to build a Miram. It's his favorite deck. It's his best self-expression. And now we're just, oh no, Brian, we can't get to it because we got like there's a new Fallout set and stuff. There's Final Fantasy coming out, Brian. You gotta do Final Fantasy Commanders.
Final Fantasy.
League of Legends. There's League of Legends ones.
Oh God, Daniel would have a half job there.
No, I wouldn't. I hate that game.
It'd be raging. Never mind.
Right? Like, it's just again, it's cool that they're bringing things out. It's cool that they do new artworks. And I'm sure a lot of people like the abomination that is those like profile artworks. That's just not for me. But
Slothy said he enjoyed it.
Yeah, Slothy's wrong. He doesn't know.
But he's not here to defend himself. Yeah. Slothy didn't say
he told me in confidence he doesn't actually like them. He hates them all.
He lit them all on fire.
Yeah. He hates them all. He thinks they're all better. Yeah, like we played when I was doing the Rogue's Passage game, one of them had the Omnoth one. It's all right. It's mid. It's okay. It's not as nice as old Omnoth, but it's not hard. But it's still Omnoth. It's a giant slime thing. It's just the slime from a different side. I don't know. But yeah, you can't tell people that can't play stuff was the direction I was going with this, right? You can choose to not do it yourself, to not upgrade your decks that way. You should still like support your stores as much as you can, right? Like they're where we go to play. They put on events. They should put on more events, by the way. Pass this on to all your stores, including mine. Put more cool events on. Mega Commander.
Oh man, that was so much fun.
I love Mega Commander. But yeah, there's don't wreck where you can play. Like don't set the forest on fire because you don't like the glade you're standing in is the guess, like the point I'm making there. Like the stores still need to run, otherwise then it turns into Amazon the Gathering, right? We're just all buy everything on Amazon, and then like they just like skyrocket the prices because they're the only mega distributor we all can like buy from Walmart or Amazon. It's corporation selling to corporation, and one evil corporation to the next evil corporation, and so on.
Yeah.
Right. I want to keep having fun playing Magic, but I don't think that the current rate the game is coming out is something that can continue. You can't properly thread it. You can't learn the game this way. Like, even think of any video game you play. You can't have a new meta changing update of any video game 10 times a year. That's 10 sets a year last year. And they want to do more this year.
You know what still amazes me? That NFL and NHL are still printing a brand new game every year.
That's the same game.
I know.
It's
why can't they send patches? Like, get out of here.
Yeah. It's the same game. Oh, it's the play. Yeah, exactly. Give me a new player patch and stop charging the same.
Yeah, $70, $80 a year. Yeah, get out of here.
I was never a sports game player, really. So I was like first person shooters or RTS or RPGs. Yeah. But that aside, yes, like I was saying, I just but it's got to be a personal thing. People have to make the personal choice to do it, and we've talked a lot about it pretty positively. I'm pretty sure everyone kind of sees where I'm going with it, but it's got to be a personal thing, right? Like I'm gonna stop buying as much. I'm gonna stop building as much. I've got so many decks. I've got like I think 40 or 50 decks in my unbuilt list. There's I was telling Brian we had like just a little like thing into our worldview. I had to use Brian's precon last night because mine's already ripped apart into 2 decks. I made Duskana. I made Animal. Yeah, right. Now I didn't have the time, but I told him if I don't if I don't get this done right now, it's going to sit in a box unchanged forever. Because by the time I get the time to sit down and edit again, there's going to be 3 new sets, right? Like we're midway through February. We have another set of Commander decks coming out, and the Fallout decks look pretty great. Like they look good. I'm sure they're going to be valuable. All of the decks in its style have been valuable. As Sherman said earlier, all of the precons lately have been pretty crazy. They've been pretty good. But do I miss them because I don't want to risk missing them? Do I just like pray that they're not the one that's going to be like too expensive later on? Or exactly like you said, is it going to be get it just so I don't have to pay more later?
Like the one thing I guess still kind of like just weighs on me a little bit is that this game, like as much as I love it and I enjoy playing it, it is a trading card game. And I guess like I the one thing I don't enjoy is seeing so many reprints coming out over and over and over again, like the doubling season 3 times in a year.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, so like it's just I do love the new arts. Like I love my twin baby dinosaur. I love my little confetti goose. Like that I bought just to hang over Daniel's head.
That's cool.
Like I love the artwork, but again, I would love us to like me personally, I love to see the blocks. I'd love to see the story come back, and I would love to see cool new artwork of cool new cards. Make the new cards the new expensive cards. Stop going back and reprinting. Well, reprint them here and there. But we need new cards to come out and be those new those money cards for those new players to get.
But at the same time, though, that's another problem, though. If they're bringing out more cards, there's way too many cards for us to like it. The more cards there are, the more chances of it warping the game.
Again, it's a trading card game. Like that's the thing, though. Like we do need some newer cards, yes, but they should not be ramping up the production. Like I do understand that they also need to make their money and stuff like that, but they've said multiple times that they do not care or they don't try to think of
wink, wink.
the secondary market. But they obviously do. They're obviously staring at it going, let's reprint this card because we know that people are going to buy the set in order to chase it. So they are treating us like Daniel said it. They're treating us like addicts to chase down cards. They had me with the One Ring.
Really quickly, though,
bought way too much product.
They're in their own way with it and stuff, right? Like how do you make doubling season a chase card in Commander Masters, and then before the set is out, spoil that it's also just an inclusion in set boosters in the next one, just because there's no reason for it, right? The extra like fairy tale like enchantments, they reprinted phenomenal enchantments, doubling season, primal vigor. We got prismatic
Fate Omens. Of the Grasp that you like.
Yeah, Grasp of Fate, dropping that card from like a $10 like commander playable one down to like a 50-cent uncommon. Insane move. Absolute bananas there. I picked up so many. I got a grip of them. But like again, how do you
got a grasp of them?
Oh no, I got a grasp of fate. Yeah. There's how do you get in your own way so badly? Like Commander Masters was a flop. That was that was a flop that's hurt game stores for sure. Like I know lots of different game stores, like both like in Calgary and not in Calgary. Like I have some friends that are owners. It's hurt them. That was a bad set. It was a bad set. It was way overpriced for what the distributors were like selling it to everyone at. The value wasn't there, right? I'm not cracking Talrans at $30 a pack. Not happy, at least, you know. That's the like people are just and then there's also I forgot about that. Like they're also remastering every set now. Not only not only can we like not even get away from the release schedule, we're getting Electric Boogaloo number 2 like Ravnica. Here's your Shocklands, and they might be serialized, so you got to buy them.
Yeah, like that's where I had to stop because the serialized cards did have me chasing because I I'd like to have fancy stuff. I like to have one of a kind. And again, and I look at it as a trading card game. Like there has to be those hard to get cards, but the fact that they make it too easy, I'm gonna come off looking at the bad guy here, and I understand that a little bit, but like again, it's a trading card game. Like there should be cards that are expensive and hard to get, but again, that's where I would still play with proxies, right? Like I'm not going to penalize someone because they can't buy it. If they got a proxy of it, I'm still totally fine with playing against them. But like
you've said something a few times now, but I want to ask a sincere question. How often are any of us actually trading in this trading card game? Because I never trade.
Oh.
No. Not to the store.
One at a time.
Not to the store. Okay.
Brian knows this, along with my play group. I have only traded in my cards once and bulk, and that was because it was desperate times. I needed cash.
Yep.
During COVID. Other than that, I generally don't trade cards. Like I make exceptions where if I have something, I will give you guys stuff. Like yesterday, I
Soul Ring City.
Yeah, I dropped you a stack of soul rings. Why? I would buy a commander set. I have a soul ring. I don't need a soul ring. I literally only have like 8 or 9 decks, and I rotate them through, and I deconstruct and I construct more. I don't have 700 like you, right?
Not yet. We'll get you there. We'll get you addicted.
I do not trade cards in.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What if they did budget masters? I'm just saying. What if they did budget masters? It was only commons and uncommons, $45 boxes. What are we talking about?
That would never happen.
But could it though? That would be really fun to draft from budget masters.
That'd be funny.
Ooh.
But overall for this though, I
gotta be careful.
I have only two
steal that idea.
I only have 2 solutions to what's going on. Like overall for the MTG freeze, I do not agree with it. Okay, I really don't. I think it is a horrible idea. Okay, like you said, it should be self-control. Okay, because if you do this, you will literally see LGSs die. Okay, Papa Hasbro and Wizards will be going back to Amazon and being like, "Hey, here is
all of our business
boxes. Okay, you can sell them basically at cost, and we don't care
because we don't do MSRP or whatever it is."
Yeah. Okay. So the only
solutions I have
are one, okay, which the first one I don't like, but do it where you sort of like how regular 60 card Magic is. You have like a standard block, you have sort of like what they try to do with Brawl, okay? You have a standard block, you have a modern block, you have like a legacy block, stuff like that.
Okay? If this was Daniel from 3 years ago, you would have been getting yelled at.
Yeah. But we're reaching at a point where that might have to be the case. I don't like the solution, but it is a solution. The second thing that I can come up with is like, okay, you guys know I spoiled myself on this set, and I went out and I bought the commander set for Markov. Okay. After a year and a half, probably closer to 2 years of not buying any sealed product. Okay. I finally got into the point where I have extra cash. I've been good. Like I do a lot of budget brews and everything, but I really, really, really wanted to actually spend some money and spoil myself because I felt like I deserved it, especially after such a long period of time. Okay.
Yeah, because you wanted to bork us.
Like Daniel said, okay, it's a personal thing. Okay, you can do the same thing. Okay, but if you still want to support your LGSs, okay, because Hasbro and Wizards, they're not gonna, in my opinion, they're not gonna listen. They're gonna keep on pumping out more stuff.
They've showed they're not gonna listen. They refuse.
My other solution is you bring a new player in and be like, hey, like I want to see if you can want to get into the Magic. Okay, these precons that come out or these sets that come out, okay, they're strong. They can go up against my stuff that I've had for years. If you are interested in getting into the game, like we always say in every single episode, pretty much, this is a great time to be a new player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bring in that new player. Live vicariously through them. Okay. They get the new decks. You can borrow that deck from time to time. You can play it when you get together and all that stuff. You guys, like, you can talk amongst your group and all that and whatnot. You're still supporting the LGS. Okay. You're still experiencing the new set, the new cards and whatnot. And at the same time, you know, like you're not breaking the bank. That is the only those are the only solutions I have at this point in time. Like overall,
MTG voyeurism.
Sorry?
That MTG voyeurism.
I actually don't think that's a bad idea though, right? Like seeing like again, borrowing the decks out, right? Like it's fun to play just the precon. I had to borrow the precon from Brian. I didn't have it, right? I do think there is like a nice thing. And especially my wife is just like getting into Magic right now, right? So it is very interesting. Like the way you said that made me think of this because a lot of times she's playing my decks, right? So she's learning how to play decks. She's playing them differently than I ever would have played them and stuff. I get to see her like piece interactions together. That is fun. It is a nice way to do it. I do like those solutions.
And that way, like you're not breaking the bank by going out and trying to keep up with the sets. You're still keeping up with the sets and learning the new cards, but through someone else as they are learning the game, the new mechanics on auto cards, and they are getting into the game as well. You know, you're fostering the community, okay, in a positive way. All right, you're bringing new people into the LGS that will spend money, okay, whether it's sealed products again or singles, it doesn't matter. So you're bringing more people in, and you know everyone's happy. Okay, Hasbro and Wizards are still going to be pumping out their stuff. They're still going to be getting their margins, their sales, and everything. Okay, the distributors still going to be able to send out all the product. The LGS can still like empty out their shelves if it comes down to it. You can still learn the new cards and new mechanics through your friends in a play group. Okay, and from time to time, you switch up the decks. Like, I don't know how often everyone else does it, but sometimes we literally sit down and be like, all right, everyone pull out a deck. All right, everyone just grab one at random.
Love
roll
deck
a die
roulette. Love
and see
deck
who gets
roulette.
what. So.
How my Italian got, it's 5-0.
Is deck roulette?
Yeah. They
Nice.
won in a deck roulette. I loved it. I lost to it, so it counted as a win.
That's fair. You got beat by your own brew.
Yeah.
For me, it's again what I said earlier and stuff, right? It's a little bit of self-reflection, which is hard. It's hard to like admit, it's hard to like openly say like, hey, like this is obviously not good for my mental health to have like cards strewn all over the place, constantly trying to upgrade things, constantly digging through boxes because like I know that I've got this one card there that's going to tie this deck together. I know that if I just find my third Frailes deck, it's this new Circle of Dream Druid. It's going to slot in so good. It's so good for the deck, guys, right? It's not good to do that. So for me, like I have a different take on it. Like I said, I'm freezing my decks in place. Those are, I don't know if I'll stop building new stuff and entirely do it, but I'm not upgrading the other things now. They exist how they exist, or they are obliterated back into my pile of lists. There is no editing in mine. It's just, this is what they are and stuff. And I've got to cut down how many I brew and stuff. I'm obviously, that's not like it's a big thing for me to say, right? But it's not anyone listening is like, you have 700 decks. Of course you have to stop. Cut it out, right? It's I'm just running out of cabinet space at this point. But it is like a real self-reflection thing. And it has been years of Wizards like bad care about their customers that's driven me to that point. Because if they had just kept like block sets, if they had kept like the big Commander releases, I specifically used to budget for the Commander releases every year because I was like, I'm going to spend $6,000 or $7,000 picking up these precons, fully upgrading them, fully ripping them apart into new things. And now Now, I'm spending 300 or 400 on those cards, if that, right? Like because there's just you can't do those big purchases anymore, because then suddenly they're going to spoil like the next best thing, the new spoiler alert, new season alert, right? It's there's a lot of there's a lot of product, and it's just impossible to keep up with. So for me, the Magic freeze as an entirety, I think it's unenforceable, right? The short of a rules committee like coming together and saying enough is enough, which will never happen.
That would decimate the community.
It'll just never happen and stuff, because there's going to be the rules committee has to, like, I kind of I criticize a lot for what they do, but they also have to be reasonable with it, because at a certain point, like, if you overstep, you risk revolt. You risk people being like, you know what? No, enough is enough. I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to your ban list. Golos was almost that for me. I still play Golos. It didn't change anything. But for like, Golos was almost like full out revolt of like me telling everyone like they are nonsense and they don't know what they're doing. Like, do not respect them. Right. I would never say that out loud. But if you try and like enforce full set bans, it's a different thing, right? Then the format fractures into like, well, I'm playing EDHF. That's
I'm
EDH
playing
freeze.
Captain.
Yeah, exactly. It's a captain rant. I should be the new rules committee. Ahoy! It's captain. It's Magic with integrity. That was a weird time in Magic, but yeah, like, it's just it's got to be a personal thing, right? It's got to be but I think for me, the other thing too is I'm going to just not keep buying the precons. I've skipped a bunch of them lately. Like, I didn't get the Ixalan ones. They looked pretty cool.
Same.
It's what was before that? I have my release schedule up here.
Wilds.
I didn't get the Wilds ones either. My store sold the Wild ones. They I don't know what happened. There was a mix up, and my pre-order got done, and I was like, you know what? Put it as cards. And I didn't get most of the Lord of the Rings ones. I haven't got a lot of precons lately. Look at me go.
You did get the Lord of the Rings?
No, I got one. No, I got two.
Oh yeah.
I should reward. For me, I should reward myself with some precons. No.
For me, like, I typically liked buying the precons, and like I enjoy boxes. Like, to me, opening boxes is like Christmas, and I have been. Say slightly being better and not buying boxes, but I the reason I enjoy buying the boxes is it's Christmas opening packs, but also I enjoy to put cards from the set into the precons. I like to try to build it with the theme that they had from the actual set that they released, and I enjoyed that more when it was in blocks, but like, as of late,
it's too much.
I haven't been I haven't been aiming to do that, because I can't afford it anymore. So maybe one box a month or something like that, if that. But
yeah, Once again, like, it's just the fact that, like, too many products, to each their own. You want to spend money on something like that, go nuts. I'm not gonna judge just because, like, if someone spends $1,000 a month on, I don't know, let's say like camping gear. I don't camp. Like, my girlfriend camps. She's trying to get me to camp. I'm a city boy, So, but like, if you're spending like $1,000 or a month doing stuff like that, or going out, getting food, firewood, renting a campsite, or just bushing it, whatever. Or you go hunting or something like that, fine. That's what you want to spend your money on, and like, I can't judge you for that, like, because I spend my money in a different way, and I spend my time in a different way. But at the same time, like, for what's going on, with Hasbro and Wizards and pumping out all this stuff, like, people have to understand, they are a company. They're not going to stop. Okay. You can probably name another company or companies that have listened to the crowd and listened to people and made changes accordingly. Okay. But for the most part, okay, how many companies are there in the world?
Yep.
All right. If the majority of them made changes based on the outcry of people, okay, then maybe someone like Wizards will listen. Okay. But they're so big that they're not gonna care.
They have the monopoly.
Yeah.
They have the monopoly on Magic cards.
I think they're
not gonna care. So because of that, okay, like doing the Magic freeze, like if you want, like Daniel is freezing his decks, that's another solution. Okay, he's still gonna buy new products from time to time.
Singles.
Okay, but to just flat out not buy anything at all and try to do a rule zero, where it's like, okay, you have something from the newest set, I'm not gonna play with you. I think that is just really, really bad,
unsustainable.
Or yeah, I think it's horrible. Okay. And I think that, people should just buy stuff, like self-control, buy stuff when they, want it or when they can't afford it, and just go from there, and not, and not be like, okay, Hasbro or Wizards, you guys have to make these changes or else, because they're not going to care. There's like, how many millions of players are there? 17, 18, 20?
It's a lot.
Okay. Let's say they lose 10,000, or let's say they lose 1 million. Ooh, who cares? Okay, you want a perfect example of this? Look at Disney. Okay, Disney, for their Disney Plus, okay, they raised their prices. They lost like what, 1 million subscribers, but they're making more money right now.
True.
From their prices being raised.
Yeah, end of the day, they don't care that much.
Cares. Yeah, they do not care. All right. So it comes down to the fact that if Wizards is not going to care, okay, it comes down to, once again, what Daniel said, okay, and what I believe is like 100% accurate: self-control. Okay. Just, it sucks. It sucks. I wish I could buy every single set that comes out there, because, let's face it,
I want it.
this is cardboard crack.
Yep.
All right. But yeah, it comes down to self-control, and the best way to do that is to bring a friend and get them addicted.
Well, or
first one's free.
Yeah. Another good thing too, though, right, is like, even if you want to, these precons are getting better and better, right? Maybe it's getting to a point that we just say, like, you know what, we're going to keep precons out and stuff. I'm going to buy number 1, Brian buys number 2, Sherman number 3. Slothy has agreed to pay for all of these precons for everyone. You know what I mean? So like
and he gives me number 4.
Yeah. But like, again, maybe we just like switch the decks out back and forth, and okay, well, I wanted this one, but maybe I don't need to build that many. One of my other solutions I did want to say, I put out to the crowd, what do I build Slime Against Humanity with? And I got killer answers. I got a lot of them. So many good answers to a point that I've actually I'm making a modular box. So like, it's going to be a whole like huge archive row. I'm going to buy a bunch of sleeves that are the same color, and the only things that move over is the slimes. X amount of slimes go into the deck. So I think the number I'm going to do is 40, and then I'm going to make a Shalai and Halar list. And if I want to play Shalai and Halar slimes, I move my slimes over. I'm going to make a Slogger Krark list. They go over. A Jadzi list, like so many. And I'm going to just play, like, rather than like buy 500 copies of Slime Against Humanity, I'm just going to keep moving them over. And moving cards over between decks is tedious, but for something like that, where I just have to quickly rifle through, be like, here's all my slimes, put them in. Here's all my slimes, put them in. That makes it a little easier, I think.
Then switching through like a bunch of artifacts and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's like a good way for me to like budget on that like immense amount of Slime Against Humanity decks that I'd like to play, because a Shalai and Halar deck is going to be different than a like Rayhan, the like Last of the Abzan one. It's going to be very different, right? So yeah, I just think that's that. My really quickly, 2 things. One, in the chat, Thunder was saying he feels like Wizards covered all the variants of selling to try and make everyone's like different opinions work, but it means that people are always going to have something to be upset about because it's not the things others are hitting on. I agree with that.
There's always something to be upset about.
The only other solution I can come up with right now is, if you cannot afford to keep up with everything, just proxy everything.
True.
No one cares. No,
not even a little bit. I just want to play Magic. I just want to play the game. I was like I said earlier, it sounds hysterical to be like, they're gonna wreck the game. They can't wreck the game itself. What they can do is make players angry enough to stop playing the game. That's the difference. But as far as like the game itself goes, Magic's forever. It's they can't take the, like, Wizards can shut down. That's not going to take the cards out of my house, right? It's not going to remove them out of circulation and stuff. Like there's so many cards that, like, the combination that you can play in them is infinite. If they never make another card again, Magic is still a game that I could play until I die happily with the amount of cards and options, right? If we all look at like the new, like we all decide we're going to build a Krark deck, no partner, just raw Krark, mono red Krark. The four of us are all going to build it differently, right? We're all going to have different takes on it, different cards in it. There's an endless combination of play styles, politics styles, like, you know what I mean? Like what works for one person is not necessarily going to work for another or be fun to another. Endless ways to play the Magic. So they can't actually wreck the game. They can just be annoying, which is what I think they are being. But that's at the end of the day, why am I letting it annoy me? Why am I letting it bug me? I also don't agree that the freeze can in any way be positive, because again, it's just a self-control thing. We have to look ourselves in the face and just say, like, do I need to keep getting this? Like, again, like, it'll be there. I'll find the card if I need to. There's always going to be one of something for sale. If you can still go out and buy Black Lotuses, albeit for a lot of money, if you can still buy those, then, like, why are we worried about like mass produced cards right now that I'm never going to see that card if I don't get it right now? No. Yeah. That's my rant. That's my tangent. Any closing?
I got nothing else to say, Joe. I think I think we touched on a lot here.
Yeah.
We did cover we covered a lot, and let's face it, like, this is something that the whole community is just talking about, okay? Especially since, Wizards was like, oh, we're gonna bring out 2 new sets per year, just like the size of the Lord of the Rings, and everyone was just freaking out. The content creators were talking about it. Everyone was just freaking out in Reddit and Twitter and whatnot. Like, it was crazy, because like everyone is like, we're pointing out, like, enough is enough. This is crazy. We need to do something about this. But like I said before, and like we've all pointed out, Hasbro and Wizards, they don't care. They don't. Okay.
Our complaints are falling on deaf ears, so we might as well have fun.
Yeah. So, and just find ways to have that fun. Okay. Like, if they're like doing something like this, is not gonna help. Okay. If someone has a better solution or another solution, like, hit us up, and we can talk about it, and we can bring it up in like another episode or whatever, and we can make a short video and like reply to it and be like, hey, you know what, this is a good idea. But at the same time, like, overall, like, Daniel, you have your opinion, Brian, you have your opinion, and I have my opinion. Slothy, I think he would be...
Slothy loves what Hasbro's doing.
Yeah.
He'd
be like, I'll buy every single thing that comes out.
Yeah.
Because he pretty much has so far.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I think the game should just be fun and stuff. I don't think a freeze is enforceable, but I think some self-reflection is.
Yeah.
I just the last thing I want to see is the Rule 0 hurting the community. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Or don't penalize people for enjoying newer stuff. Like, if you want to support the freeze, again, like we've all said, it is your personal decision not to buy the new stuff. Unlike Secret Layers, most of the stuff you can get after a certain point in time. Or
here's something that we can also try. Okay, so just like Brawl, because Brawl does like what, 1 or 2 sets before and 1 or 2 sets after kind of deal. What if you just do build commander decks based off that? Okay, choose a set and choose 2 sets above and 2 sets below, and build from only those cards.
Fair.
So like, let's say like with Wilds, okay, Wilds came out, then you said Doctor Who and Ixalan. Those are the two front. What are the two behind that? Okay. From that, that's all you can build from.
Yeah, build it like a standard block
there. Okay. Because then you're still kind of like keeping up with things. Okay. And you still have the versatility. They're doing reprints. So you can still play with other cards. All right. You might not see the super old cards that I normally use. Okay. But it is another solution. Right? So like with Markov, okay, like I have my Markov deck. I can do Ixalan and I can do Doctor Who. And then in the future, we have Fallout is the next set, and then whatever is after Fallout, I don't know. Okay, and that is my card pool that I can only use.
Fair.
Okay, because you're still buying cards from time to time. Okay, you're still supporting your LGS. All right. You're still learning the mechanics. Like Commander, like that's another problem that we kind of touched on, kind of didn't touch on. There's just like Wizards coming out with so many new sets, so many new cards. It's so hard to keep up with. Okay. This is one way where you don't have to keep up with it. Okay. You kind of do, but you kind of don't.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Tangent over.
Yeah.
There we go. If you liked this episode, which is all negative, anyways, still come give us a positive thing. I'd like to know, another thing I do really want to know, I want to know this Budget Masters thing. I'd love to do an episode on what would be in Budget Masters. Like what would be your favorite cards to include in that? Tell me your best budget cards to give me something positive to look at. If you like what you hear, like, share, subscribe. It helps lots. Give us a nice 5-star rating review. If you want to support the channel more than that, then come over to Patreon. Great spot. You can be in the chat when we record. You can be a part of lots of conversations that we have. Great place, great community. Go to Abyss Proxy Shop, promo code IT99 for a discount. It's very nice and everything like that. What are you flashing there, Brian? Yeah, exactly. Let me do me. You outro if you want outro. That's basically it and stuff like that. We like the AI sleeves. They got their own. They're not paying promos. You know what? They're getting nothing. So yeah, that's the end of it. That's it. Nothing else. Oh, and into-the99.com. Lots of cool articles that go up there and everything. All our content in one place. That kind of stuff. That's it.
Hi guys.
Laters.